Welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. Today we are talking about how sleep affects learning. This is a great topic for English learners because sleep influences memory, focus, mood, and even motivation. Many people think studying longer always leads to better results, but that is not true if your brain is tired. Sleep is not just rest. It is an active process that helps your mind organize information. Jake, when you hear the phrase sleep affects learning, what is the first idea that comes to your mind?
The first idea I think of is memory. If you study new vocabulary at night and then sleep well, your brain has a better chance to keep those words. A useful verb here is retain. Retain means to keep something, especially information, for a period of time. Students often say, "I studied for hours, but I could not retain anything." In many cases, the problem is not only the study method. It is also lack of sleep. Without enough sleep, your brain becomes less efficient, and learning can feel slower and more frustrating.
That word efficient is very useful. Efficient means working well without wasting time or energy. Imagine two students. One studies for 3 focused hours and then sleeps enough. The other studies for 6 tired hours and sleeps very little. The first student may actually learn more because the brain needs recovery time. Recovery means the process of returning to a healthy or normal state. For intermediate English learners, this is an important lesson. Studying is not only about quantity. Quantity means how much of something there is. Quality matters too, especially when it comes to attention and clear thinking.
Exactly. Let us talk about attention first. Attention is your ability to focus on one thing. When you do not sleep enough, it becomes harder to pay attention to details. You may read the same paragraph several times. You may hear English audio, but your mind starts to drift. Drift means to move slowly without a clear direction. If your mind drifts, your thoughts wander away from the task. This happens to everyone sometimes, but sleep deprivation makes it much worse. Sleep deprivation means not getting enough sleep over a period of time, and it can affect both students and busy working adults.
I think many listeners know that feeling very well. You open a book, start a lesson, and after 10 minutes you realize you are only looking at the words, not really understanding them. That is why sleep and concentration are connected. Concentration is the ability to direct your mental effort toward one task. Here is a practical tip. If you notice that your concentration drops quickly every day, do not only blame your discipline. Discipline means the ability to control your behavior and keep good habits. Sometimes the real problem is physical, and your body is simply asking for proper rest.
Another important point is that sleep helps your brain sort information. During the day, you collect many small pieces of knowledge. Maybe you learn a new expression, hear a grammar pattern, and read an article in English. While you sleep, the brain helps decide what is important and where to store it. Store here means keep for future use. We can compare the brain to a library. If books are thrown everywhere, finding information is hard. Good sleep is like a careful librarian. It puts things in the right place so you can find them later when you need them.
That library image is excellent. It also helps us explain another useful word, consolidate. To consolidate knowledge means to make it stronger and more stable in your memory. Teachers often say review helps consolidate learning, and sleep does something similar in a biological way. So if you study vocabulary before bed and review it the next day, you are giving your memory 2 kinds of support. This does not mean you should study when you are extremely exhausted. Exhausted means very tired. But it does suggest that a calm study session in the evening can be helpful when it is followed by enough sleep.
Let us also mention mood, because mood affects learning more than many people realize. Mood means your emotional condition at a particular time. When people are sleep deprived, they often become more irritable, less patient, and less optimistic. Irritable means easily annoyed. If you are learning English and you feel irritable, small problems can seem huge. One mistake in pronunciation may feel embarrassing. One difficult listening exercise may make you want to quit. In contrast, when you sleep well, you usually have more emotional balance. Balance means a stable condition where things are under control and not extreme.
That emotional balance matters in conversation too. Language learning is social. You speak with teachers, classmates, coworkers, or friends. If you are tired, you may respond more slowly or feel nervous more easily. Nervous does not always mean afraid. It can also mean tense and not fully relaxed. Sleep can support confidence because your brain works more smoothly. You can find words faster, understand questions better, and stay calmer when you make a mistake. Here is a phrase many learners should remember: give yourself grace. It means be kind to yourself, especially when you are tired, stressed, or still improving.
Now let us look at a common myth. Some people believe they can catch up on sleep anytime and the effects are always the same. In reality, one long sleep after many short nights may help a little, but it does not always fully solve the problem. Your body usually benefits more from consistency. Consistency means doing the same healthy thing regularly. A regular sleep schedule can help your brain and body know when to rest and when to be alert. Alert means awake, attentive, and ready to notice things. For learners, being alert during study time is a major advantage.
So what does a healthy sleep routine look like in practical daily life? First, try to go to bed at a similar time most nights. Second, reduce bright screens right before sleep if possible. Third, avoid very heavy meals or too much caffeine late in the day. Caffeine is a substance found in coffee, tea, and some soft drinks that can make you feel more awake. Fourth, create a short routine that tells your brain it is time to rest. You might stretch, read a few pages, or write tomorrow's task list so your mind feels less crowded.
I like that last suggestion because many people do not fail to sleep because they are lazy. They fail to sleep because their minds are busy. They keep thinking about work, family, money, or unfinished tasks. A useful adjective here is restless. If you feel restless, you cannot relax easily and your body or mind feels unsettled. Writing a short list before bed can reduce that restless feeling. Another tip for English learners is to stop intense study a little before sleep. Light review is fine, but a stressful test simulation at midnight may raise anxiety instead of helping memory.
That is a smart distinction. We should also talk about naps, because people often ask whether naps help learning. A nap is a short sleep during the day. For some people, a brief nap can improve energy and focus. Brief means lasting only a short time. But if a nap is too long or too late in the day, it may make nighttime sleep more difficult. So naps can be useful, but they should be used carefully. If you feel tired every afternoon, the bigger question may be whether your nighttime sleep is good enough in the first place.
Here is another practical strategy for listeners. Pay attention to your personal patterns. Pattern means a repeated way in which something happens. Maybe you learn vocabulary best in the morning when your mind is fresh. Maybe listening practice works well in the evening, but grammar does not. Instead of forcing yourself to follow someone else's routine, observe your own energy. Observe means watch carefully in order to learn something. Keep notes for a week. Write down when you studied, how sleepy you felt, and how much you remembered. This small experiment can teach you a lot.
I love that advice because it turns learning into a process of discovery. It also reminds us that sleep is connected to the whole lifestyle. Exercise, stress, food, and screen habits can all influence sleep quality. Sleep quality means how restful and effective your sleep actually is, not just how many hours you spend in bed. Someone can stay in bed for 8 hours and still wake up tired. That is why it helps to ask better questions. Not only how long did I sleep, but also how rested do I feel, how focused am I, and how patient am I today?
Before we finish, let us give our listeners a simple action plan. Tonight, choose one small improvement. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier, put your phone away sooner, or review 5 English words before sleep and test yourself tomorrow. Tomorrow, notice your energy, your focus, and your memory. Over time, these small changes can produce visible results. Visible means easy to notice. And remember, progress in language learning is not only built during study sessions. Part of that progress happens later, quietly, while you sleep and your brain does its important background work.
Let us recap the key points from today's episode. Sleep supports attention, concentration, memory, mood, and confidence. We talked about useful words like retain, efficient, recovery, drift, consolidate, irritable, consistency, alert, restless, and pattern. We also shared practical tips such as keeping a regular bedtime, limiting caffeine late in the day, creating a calm evening routine, using naps wisely, and observing your personal study patterns. If you want to learn English more effectively, do not ignore sleep. It may be one of the most powerful study tools you already have.
And that is our message for today. Better sleep can lead to better learning, clearer thinking, and a more positive attitude toward English practice. You do not need a perfect routine right away. Start with one realistic change and build from there. Thanks for spending time with us on the English Daily Podcast. If this episode helped you, please subscribe and come back for more vocabulary, conversation practice, and practical learning tips. We will see you next time on the English Daily Podcast.